Hi friends, welcome to SPJK Technosoft channel. This video presents basics of Python programming such as variables and types, basic operators, string formatting, conditions, loops and functions. So friends, happy learning with Python basics theory and practical.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel SPJK Technosoft. In this video we are going to see Python Basics Part 1. So just to provide a Python overview, Python is interpreted, interactive and object-oriented high-level scriptum language. Python is designed to be highly readable. It uses simple English keywords. So we need to stress upon this, that it uses simple English keywords. So any person who even does not have a programming background can easily understand and then start using the Python coding. So moving ahead, these are some of the features. I won't say all the features, but some of the main features of Python: easy to read, easy to learn, portable, extendable, scalable, and maintainable. And what we are going to learn today in this video is variables and types, basic operators which can be used in Python, string formatting, conditions. We are going to see if condition, loops, for loop as well as while loop we are going to see, and we're going to see basic functions, how we can create functions and how we can use it in Python language. So let me start the editor because I'm going to show you everything in practicality. So I am using Jupyter Notebook as my editor. So there are various editors available in the market, and you can use any one of those like Eclipse or PyCharm. Anyone you can choose it in which you feel comfortable. If a lot of people, they use Eclipse because they're comfortable coding in Eclipse, because Java also supports Eclipse and some other languages also supports Eclipse. So I am using Jupyter Notebook because it is I felt that it is more user friendly than most of the editors which are available in that. So we'll start with variables and types. So I have already created a code for that and I will explain you each and everything. So for numbers, so I've created one variable myInt1 and assigned a value 5. Okay, and in Python, if you want to view the values of print something, you need to use the print command. So I'm going to use the print command. So I will just remove this and let us use this. You see it is printing the value as 5. And if you want to know what is the type of that particular variable, we can use the print command with type, and then it will give what is the type of that particular variable. So in this case it is integer, so it is giving as a int value. Okay. So moving on to the next one, float. So I have created another variable where I have assigned a float value 8.0, and if I print this, it will give you the float value of 8. And just same as we have seen for the integer, we can also just type and see whether what type of variable is a my float, and it is saying as it belongs to the float class. Okay, and we can also assign, we can convert the integer value to float, like I have done that. So I have created a my float variable, and I am basically converting an integer value of 8 to a float value. And if you see, if I print that, it is showing 8.0, that is a float value of that. Okay, so like that we can create variables and we can assign different values. We can print that, we can use that in our programming, and we can also see the types of different variables we are using it. Also for string also, I have created a one variable called mystr, and I have assigned a value in quotes. Okay, whichever values you are assigning in quotes, so by default Python will take it as a string only. Okay, so in our case, if you see the first one, if I print that, it is showing as hello. The second one, although it is a numerical value, but because I have given that in a quote, so it is showing me as a string value. You can see this class is string for this particular print command. Okay, and this were the variables and the types. There are a lot of other stuffs also which you can do. So we are just starting with the basics so that you understand what are the basic operators or what are the basic things which we can do using Python programming language. So we will move on to other things. Now we will look into the basic operators. So start with arithmetic operators. I have assigned values to num variable, and what I've done basically, I said 2 plus 4 multiplied by 3 by divided by 4, and if we want to print that, you will see we're getting a value of 5. And here reminder, so when we use percentage symbols, this means it is going to give the remainder of that. Okay, so 11 divided by 3, the remainder will be 2. So in our case, if I print that, we are getting the value of 2. Okay, so same arithmetic operators I can use for string also. You can see that I have created hello world one variable, and I am trying to assign two variables. So basically I'm trying to add two variables, okay, or two values into particular variable hello world 1, and when I print that, it will be a single statement hello world. Okay, so same for the string formatting. Okay, we have created one variable called as a name, okay, and assigned a value Raju. And if I print that, next example, we have created one variable as Raju, the other variable as 45. That is the age, which is the integer one. And when I'm using the print command, percentage %s is used for the string part, and percentage %d is used for the numerical, that is integer part. So we are using that, and when we print that, it is saying that Raju is 45 years of old. Like this, you can do the string formatting. Okay. And so we'll move on to the next one, that is basic string operations. I have again created one variable as a string one, where I have the value hello good morning, and if I want to print the length of the variable, I will get the total length of the variable is 20. Okay, and then the next example is that I want to know what is the index number of the value O, that is the first occurrence, this one. And if I print that, you see it is giving the fourth value because it is the fourth value. The reason it is saying 4, although here you can see it is the fifth value, because in Python the index start with the 0 value, zeroth index. Okay, so 0 is H, then 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth is the O1. Okay, so this is how you can find the index of the particular value. Moving on to the next one, I want to count the number of L in this particular string. If I say enter, see there are 2 L's. And then another variable which I have created in Python, we have something called as a list, which is again a part of data dictionary. We are going to share that in our next videos. So there we can get the values in range. So what here it is saying that I want a range of characters from 3rd till 7th in this particular string. Okay, so now the third character here, it will be, because as I mentioned that it will be starting, the index will be starting from the 0, so HELL, so that the fourth L will be the third character because it starts with the 0th. So 3rd to 7th, so in our case it should give LO, comma, and the G. Okay, let us see. And we are going to see more about the list in our next video, where we are going to discuss about data structures. So this is how we can also have the range of the characters in a particular variable. And next example, I have used two functions. One is upper and lower. You can use these functions to convert the string into uppercase or the lowercase. In our case, you can see the first one has been converted to uppercase, the second one has been converted to the lowercase. Okay, so these were basic string operations. You can do a lot of stuff using Python Python operators basically. So this was a few of the things which I have told you just to get start up with the Python programming. So we'll move ahead with conditions. We'll see the Boolean values initially. So I have assigned one variable which is x, and to that variable I have assigned a value 9. Now there are three print commands. If you see, first one saying is x is equals to 9, means it's asking whether the x value is equals to 9 or not. In our case it is true because x is having a value 9, so it will print true. In the next case it is saying that x is equals to 3, whether x is equals to 3 or not, but in our case it is false, so it will print false. And the third case it is saying that x is less than 3, that is also false because 9 is greater than 3. So we will add one more so that we understand in a better way. Print x is greater than 3, so that it will print true. Let us execute this. You see, the first one is true, second one is false, third one is false, and the fourth one is true. Okay, this is Boolean conditions. Now if I go to if else condition, you see I have created two variables. One is name, which is a string variable, and the other one is age, which is a integer variable. And if I compare this, if I am using the if statement, I am saying if name is equals Shyam and age is equals 42. So both the conditions should satisfy, and here in our case it is satisfying it. So it will print the first value. Okay. Then again, if name is Raju or name is Shyam, so any of the condition is sufficing, then it will print either your name is Raju or Shyam. Okay. And same you can use in operator also. If name in, again I have used list Raju comma Shyam. Okay, so name is containing a value called Shyam, so any one of that, right, in Raju comma Shyam. So because it is containing a value Shyam, again it will print your name is either Raju or Shyam. Okay, then again this was regarding the strings which we have used in our if condition. Now we are going to use a numeric value where if you see, I'm going to use a value called 12 which is assigned to x. Now I'm comparing, I'm using if condition. If x is equals to 12, then print x equals to 12, else print x does not equals to 12. So in our case x is 12, so it is going to print x equals to 12. Now let me change the value so that else condition gets executed. Now if I execute this, it says that x does not equal to 12. Okay, so the else condition is getting executed. The syntax for if condition is that if the variable whatever you're comparing it, and the colon has to be there. This is how the Python if has been constructed. And in Python programming language, we don't have anything called as a curly braces or to differentiate between if conditions or different if conditions and else conditions. So indentation is very important for us. For example, if I just put that like this, you see, it will throw an error. Just 12. Just a second. X equals to, you see, because the indentation has to be there, as I told you, because once you put the colon, you come here and it should be, the next statement should be there where the cursor is blinking. Okay, so indentation is very important, that you need to take care, otherwise it will throw an error. It says clearly, it is saying that expected an indented block. So each and every statement should be indented properly for either if or else statements. Now if I click yes, so it will come the values. Okay, this is how you can use if statements in Python. Now moving on to the next one, the loops. We'll start off with the for loop. So it's simple. Again, I have created a simple list of values and stored it in the xnum variable. Now I want to print all the values for where in xnum. Again, as I told you, indentation for any anything, loops, if statements, or functions, whatever you're going to create or use it, indentation is very important. So we are going to print the values, see all the values it is coming. Now also there is one function called range. Range, basically whatever we define the range inside, the values will be printed till that particular range. Okay. Now you see, as I told you, it starts with the 0 index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 numbers. Okay, so the range is 6, so it will print from 0 to 5. Altogether, if you see, these are all 6 numbers. Okay, then again we can use it, the range function as in different ways. So this one, like 3, 6, so it will print 3, then it will ignore the fourth one, again then it will, sorry, it will print 3, and from 3 till the fifth one, because the range is 3, 6. So we are given the range as 3, 6. So it will start from 3 and then it will end at 5, because it starts with the 0th index. Okay, let me just see. 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and again the next one, if you see here, what we have done, basically we have defined the range function and we have defined the order. That I don't want to print a sequential one, but we want to print every alternate number of that. So starting from 3 till 8, every alternate number should be printed. Now if you see, it has printed 3, then it has not printed 4, and then 5, then not 6, then 7. Okay, so like this we can use the range function in our programming for different purposes. Okay, this was for loop. And while loop, like in many other programming languages, it has the same concept. I have created one variable, assigned value 0, and I want to loop that which is less than 7. You see, it will print till the 6th value starting from 0. Okay, these were loops, for loop as well as while loop. Now moving on to the functions. Def is the keyword to create any kind of function in the Python programming language. So I have created def, my function. Okay, and again, as I told you, indentation is very important. And if I execute this, then I want to execute my function. Whatever is there in the my function, this value is getting printed. Okay, next one, I have created another function with arguments, and if I execute this, and I will execute the arguments, because username as well as greet both are, if you see, this is %s and %s, this is a string, right? So I have passed the values in string, and that will be passed in the function. Hello Yashraj, from my function, I wish you all hello. Okay, and again, this were for the string part. I have created one more function, which is a sum of two numbers, and I am returning those values. I will execute that. I will pass two values because I passed two arguments, and you see the sum of two numbers is getting executed. And so you can pass any values, it will automatically sum that and print that value in that. Okay, so this is how we can do some basic uses of different operators and different functions, different conditions, loops, which are available in the Python. So today we wanted to cover the basics part. So just to start off with Python, and we have covered variables and types, basic operators, string formatting, basic string operations, conditions, where we have covered if conditions, Boolean conditions, as well as we have seen how in operator works. Then we have covered the loops part, for loop as well as while loop. And then we have seen how the simplest of functions can be created and executed for both string values as well as the numerical values. So we are going to come up with some other videos where we are going to go in details of the data structure. Hope you have enjoyed the first part of Python basics. Please subscribe to our channel SPJK Technosoft for further updates and new videos. And keep watching for the updates. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe to this SPJK Technosoft channel to get more trending videos on latest technologies in IT and pharma industry for your amazing career. Goodbye and don't forget to subscribe this channel.